Two of the biggest things I think that maybe have happened to crypto all year, in a good sense at least, have happened this week, and no one's really talking about it. And I think that might be because the market is so rough right now and we're in such a bear market. And part of it might be because we had a lot of big macro things happen this week. For example, just today we had bank earnings. Yesterday we had CPI. We had other stuff earlier in the week. So not too many people are talking about this. I've seen it just a couple places. But like I said, I think it is massive for cryptocurrency holders and for crypto in general. Now, two little pieces of housekeeping. First of all, I have a cold. I apologize for that. I sound a little bit nasally. I'm actually recording this for the second time because the first time I was using a different microphone and it sounded really like it had a lot of gain, if you've heard of that. It was really loud sounding, and it wasn't just the volume. So I'm re-recording it. If you guys like that, please hit subscribe so that you can see future videos. I try to make them as good for you guys as possible. There's also a link down there to BitGet, where you can get some free crypto up to $4,300, just short of $4,300. And you can start trading on leverage in case you want to do that, or you can buy spot. It's a great place to do that if you want to try it out. And there's a special link where you get 15 USDT just for signing up with the link underneath the video, and then you can get more from there. There's also a link down there to get up to 15 free stocks on moomoo. So you get one right when you sign up. You get 5 when you deposit. You get 5 total when you deposit $100, and then you get 15 total when you deposit $2,000. So check out those links underneath the video if you want to help out the channel. Now, what is the first big piece of news? FASB settles on fair value accounting for measuring crypto assets. Now, that's a little bit wordy. Maybe doesn't make a lot of sense right off the cuff. The Financial Accounting Standards Board on Wednesday said companies should use fair value accounting for measuring Bitcoin and other crypto assets, moving a step closer to a standard that would clear up uncertainty over reporting how much such holdings are worth. There are currently no specific accounting or disclosure rules for cryptocurrency assets, so businesses classify them as indefinite-lived intangible assets similar to intellectual property such as trademarks. Now, this is how we've done it in the past, and if you remember, going back to like the last 2 years, we've been talking about how this has to change if we want large companies to start buying Bitcoin or other crypto assets. The reason for this is basically how it works now. If I were to buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin at $19,000, let's say, and then Bitcoin goes and it gets cut in half, it goes down to 9,000 and then goes right back up like the same day to 19,000, right? A 50% drop, 50% increase. And I realize that's a little bit drastic, but let's say it happens. I would have to report that as a loss on my quarterly tax or on my quarterly report, but I would not be able to count it as a gain. I would have to go from the lowest point it was, and that's the new value of my cryptocurrency. And unless I sell it, I'm not allowed to make that up. I'm not allowed to count it as a gain. So MicroStrategy, right? They buy billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Whenever it falls down, they have to report that as a loss. And unless they sell it, which they never want to sell it, they can't ever count it as any kind of capital gain. So it's a horrible way of accounting for cryptocurrencies because taking it at its worst point doesn't really make a lot of sense. We don't do that with stocks either. We have to report them as gains and losses. So I think this is one step in the right direction. They still have to talk about what is included in this because I think it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin will be included, probably Ethereum, but they say that they're not going to include NFTs at this point and certain stablecoins. Now, this will probably change in the future. We'll have to see. I would assume NFTs will be included because it's like art. Maybe stablecoins in the future too. It says certain stablecoins, so I'm not sure exactly what is going to be included and what's not at this point. But I think this is fantastic. And not that companies are going to show on their next quarterlies, like the ones they're announcing right now, because this just went through. But maybe Q1 of next year, we're going to start seeing companies that bought this quarter, because a lot of companies, I think, would want some exposure to crypto. They want some exposure to Bitcoin. So if we start to see some large buys, it's probably this, I would assume, because there are a lot of companies, even like Tesla, that would like to hold more Bitcoin. They hold Bitcoin already, Tesla does, but they had to sell because of the fact that they didn't want to take a major loss on their last quarterly report. So it's something great that's going to happen in the future. Just opens up the door for a lot more companies. Now, because we are in a bear market, I don't think this will necessarily pump up the market super fast right now or anything like that, but I do think it will really help get more people interested or more companies interested in Bitcoin, and possibly set us up for a better bear market in the future with large companies that have billions of dollars just sitting on their balance sheet, possibly wanting to buy a little piece. Then the other big piece of news, if you remember, one of the biggest fears of last bull market was that Tether was a Ponzi scheme. However, they just announced, Tether is proud to announce that we have completely eliminated commercial paper from our reserves. This is evidence of our commitment to back our token with the most secure liquid reserves on the market. Tether has eliminated over $30 billion of commercial paper without any losses, a proof of how Tether's reserves are conservatively and professionally managed. They have also increased their direct exposure to U.S. Treasuries by more than $10 billion in the last quarter. Now, this makes a ton of sense for Tether. Right now, there's not much certainty in crypto. There's a lot of risk. There aren't projects popping off all over the place where they can make a lot of money if they run some kind of illegitimate project, taking people's money and investing in other places and then putting it back and that kind of thing. So it's not like they can use this as their own piggy bank as easily and make money. However, they can make really easy money just by putting it in U.S. Treasuries. Right now, they're so large. When they put $10 billion, let's say, into a 10-year Treasury, that's $400 million that they're making easily every year. It's really safe money, too. So putting $10 billion in, keeping the rest liquid or doing whatever else they're going to do with it, I think is great for us as investors because we don't have the potential of Tether collapsing, or at least the probability is going to be much lower of Tether collapsing one day. But also it makes sense for them as well because they're making such easy money. It's so easy to make money if you have money right now with rates increasing. That really reduces the risk, I think, of some massive collapse for Tether. This makes a lot of excitement, or brings a lot of excitement for the next quarter earnings reports for a lot of companies, possibly increasing their exposure to cryptocurrency. We had so many different companies too that were interested in buying crypto, right? With Michael Saylor showing them how to do so. I think there's a couple different really big conferences that he put on, but not too many companies ended up adding it to their balance sheets, at least public companies. But now I think it really opens the door for more and more companies to do just that. Now, like I said, I don't think it will necessarily pump up the market now, but I do think it's great in the future. You can check out the link again to BitGet underneath the video where you can get some free, easy money just by signing up, deposit. It's a great place if you do want to trade on a little bit of leverage, play around, maybe practice your TA skills. And you can check out moomoo underneath the video too, where you can get a ton of free money, which goes a lot further in this kind of bear market, right? This is worth a lot more now than it was a year ago. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.